I ordered everything, done the rush shipping and handling, believing that this next thing would be the thing. And I finally found myself completely exhausted at 29 years old. So I'll tell you a story about my son Jake. My son Jake is 12 years old right now, but this was a couple years ago. He was in the 3rd grade. I get a call from the teacher. We got to have a parent-teacher conference. Everything's okay, but Mrs. Hobbs, I need you to come in. You guys have all been to the parent-teacher conferences, right? Did any of you have a child that is like the funny one in the family, like just says this stuff that you're like, where did you get that from? So that's my son Jake. So I know Jake, and I know, that they'll, I'm just praying when I go sit down with this teacher that it's going to be a positive meeting. So I tell him ahead of time, Jake, if you're good, we're going to go to the park afterwards. We'll get some ice cream. If this conference goes well, son, it's going to be a great day for you. And that was implying that if it doesn't, it's not going to be a great day. So we sit down, and the teacher's there, and she pulls in the reading teacher and the music teacher. There's several teachers there, and we're all sitting around that little table in the little chairs. And she opens up by telling me, your son is so smart, and he reads so well, and he's really, really a good student. And then she said that there's one more thing. The teachers and I have been talking, and he just never sits still. He's always moving. He's always touching people and touching things and touching stuff. And so I look over at Jake, and now it's like I don't want him to leave this conference hearing that he's a bad kid. You know how you want your child to leave and get something from it and not feel like everybody's coming down on him? Because by this point, each of the teachers had described Jake's habit of touching everything and moving and, hyperactivity that he was and had. And so I'm looking at him and I'm like, Jake, I'm so, you're so good and I'm so proud of you. And I hope that when you listen to all this, you understand they just want to help you. They just want you to get better, Nobody wants to come down on you. They think you're great. So my child stands up and he looks at all these teachers and he goes, so what you guys are saying is I really shouldn't take all this personally. I said to him, I go, well, your name was on the conference form, son. So when I speak, it's always something I want to say at the beginning, is that I know personally as someone who went through having a weight struggle, and, it's still a lifestyle that I choose to this day. You don't just have a magical experience, lose a lot of weight, and then it's gone. You still have to pay attention. And so there's also people in the room that feel uncomfortable as soon as somebody mentions the word weight. And I just pray that you understand, every person that's here, that this is not something to take personally, that this is information. This is my story, and then it's also information that I've learned over the years that I've been able to really help others transform their lives. And so, in this journey, I've had this opportunity to write 5 books, but after I lost the weight, going back now about 9 years ago, I got a call from the Oprah Winfrey Show, and I was called out to Chicago, and I was able to be on the show with Oprah, and they surprised me when I got to Chicago because they had called the producer ahead of time when she set it up and said, so, what's something that you wish that you had done that your weight held you back from and now it won't hold you back? And I said, well, I wish that I had lost the weight for my wedding because I was like a size 26 bride and I'm still married to the same guy 19 years later, my high school sweetheart. And so I said, I just really wish that I had lost the weight for my wedding. So I get to Chicago, and by this time I'm 16 weeks pregnant with my son Luke, but this was the first pregnancy that I was fit. My first 3 children, I was, over 300 pounds when I had them. So I get there, and immediately they bring me into a room and it's full of wedding dresses. And so they surprised me, have me try on all these dresses because my husband and I were about to celebrate our 10th wedding anniversary. It was right before Valentine's Day. They made me promise I wouldn't breathe a word of this to Keith. And so what ends up happening is I'm backstage and they're going to bring me out on the show. I'm going to meet Oprah, sit down and talk to her, and then they're going to whisk me away and transform me into a bride and have me come back out. So, but they don't want me to tell my husband all that. so we pick out a dress, and very exciting, this beautiful bridal salon on Michigan Avenue, gave us the dress. And don't kid yourself, when all of those things were given away on Oprah, Oprah's not paying for any of it, okay? So this was a pretty cool thing that was happening, and I tell you, I'm getting ready to go out on stage to meet Oprah. And trust me, when you go to meet somebody like Oprah, I never imagined I'd meet Oprah, first of all, but I also never imagined that when I did, she'd want to talk about me. You know what I mean? That's just not something that you envision. And so I'm standing backstage, and I can see my husband on the screen as they're panning the audience, and I also brought 10 of my friends. And so there's my little crowd there that are just there to support me, because it's only been a couple years since I lost the weight. I was also pregnant, not really showing yet, but, I was still in that phase where everybody was praying, I hope she doesn't gain all the weight back now that she's pregnant. And so, you know what I'm talking about. And so what ends up happening is I'm watching the camera that's scanning the audience, and I'm standing backstage. And they get to my husband, and now they put that video up. Have you ever seen on these talk shows when they talk about weight loss, how they show a video, and it's like every bad angle, every bad picture that this person has ever taken is put up on that video, right? So they played that video, the one I'm talking about, and every picture and every, kid's birthday party that I hosted and bathing suits and, all of that is on that video. And then, and I'm talking in the background about the pain of losing weight or being overweight. And they flash to my husband, and he's just sobbing. He doesn't know about the wedding thing. And so what ends up happening is I start to cry. I'm backstage, and now I'm getting ready to walk out on the first guest, and it's like, don't fall apart. So the producer looks at me, and she says, whatever you do, don't run this moment by falling apart. She said it will be over in a flash. And it was a smart thing, because when I walked out there and I hugged her, it was like I sat down and I could feel that ugly cry coming on. And she said, so it's a process. Those were her first words. And I said, yes, it's a process. And I just pulled back. And so I ended up having this great opportunity. They gave me this dress. I came home, celebrated my 10th wedding anniversary, and renewed my wedding vows, and got to take pictures in the dress. And that was a wonderful thing. Went on to have my son, and went right back to teaching spinning and doing all of these things, which was really quite exciting. But in the process, I also was able to be on the cover of People magazine. I've been in People twice. You know how you see the half their size? Have you ever seen those People magazines? So when they first started doing those, they contacted me. They'd heard my story, I guess on Oprah or somewhere along the way, and they asked me if I would let them come down to South Florida and kind of film my life and photograph it. And they'd never done this with half their size before. So it's not because I'm special. It's because, truthfully, they really believed that people needed to see that it's possible, but they needed to see it happening.